Hey everybody, welcome to the barn and welcome back to the channel. It's always good to have you guys along. So as you guys know, sometimes we like to use edged weapons and show edged weapons and things like that on the channel. You know, we like to do all different kind of things. But what happens when you want to throw something like this? Boom! Or something like this? Boom! Get rid of that real quick. Or something like this. Right? So basically for the past 15 plus years I've been throwing at my blocks, my throwing blocks, which are big circles of like pine that I've cut from down trees and things like that with my chainsaw, and I put them and I lean them up against the tree. So what happens if you don't want to throw at your block and just kind of have it leaning up against a tree on the ground? What happens if you actually want to get this sucker up off the ground? Well, that's what we're going to do today. So stay tuned, and we're going to bring you guys through building a frame to affix these blocks to. Alrighty, come on in. So I'm going to do my very best to bring you guys through everything that you're going to need for this whole process. So you're going to need a drill, some sort of power drill. I just got my little Hyper Tough here. Going to need, I've got a 1/2 inch spade bit for the drill, but you could use a 1/2 inch drill bit, anything to make a hole. This is a 1/2 inch diameter bolt. You're going to want a bolt, you know, like a 6-inch bolt or something like that. We'll show you what that's for in a minute. And either use a lock washer or washer with a nut, you know, something, or a lock nut, or not with a washer, something like that. We'll show you what that's for here in a minute. You're going to need a tape measure because we have some measuring to do. You're going to need some 3 or 4 inch deck screws, and I've got some 2.5 inches too, just to make sure. So additionally to that, you're going to need 3 2x4s. Alrighty, so these first 2 boards we're going to want to measure out, and we're going to mark off at 68 inches. So 68 inches on the first 2 boards. Alrighty, so on this third one, you're going to want this at 72 inches. So 72 inches on the third one. So 68 and 72. Alright, let's get on to the next step. Alrighty guys, we've got the safety glasses on, we've got the gloves on, and now we're going to fire up this radial arm saw and make our cut. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and use this 1/2 inch spade bit, and we're going to drill a hole for our bolt. They're a couple inches from the top of our target stand here. Definitely not a carpentry channel, but we do what we can. So just as an afterthought, I thought I'd mention really quick, I use this C-clamp. You definitely don't need one of these, but it was a huge help keeping these 3 boards kind of together so they didn't wobble all over the place. So yeah, there's that. Alrighty, so now we're going to take our 1/2 inch bolt. I'm just going to put it down through here, and I don't really need to, but I'm going to take and just give it a couple of taps. Kind of recess that down in there with a mallet. I'm going to flip this on the side, and then we're going to put this washer on so that the nut here doesn't sink down into the board. And then we're going to take this 3/4 inch wrench here, and we're just going to snug it just a tiny bit. Don't know how much we want to snug it because this is effectively a tripod at this point. So get the cameraman to scoot down to the base there. And you want to have the longest of the 3, the one that we cut to, what was it, 72 inches? That wants to be the one in the center. So let's stand this up, and I will show you what we just kind of built here. Okay, so as mentioned before, definitely not a carpenter. So, the obvious fact that I just bolted these things directly together so that the tripod legs wouldn't spread apart, those front 2 legs, became glaringly obvious to me at this point. So, here's what we did to fix it. Alrighty, so through the magic of video editing, we've only been working on this for about 15 minutes, but here we are, we jumped through to the semi-finished product. We're just going to add the blocks here in a minute. But we had to go up to the 3/4 inch spade bit because, as it turns out, I'm not a carpenter. I'm a shooter. That's kind of what I do. But hey, like I said, we're learning this together. With this 1/2 inch bolt to have a hole that fit perfectly, right? All 3 of these actually fit together perfectly. So I couldn't get the spread to get me this kind of easel tripod look. So we had to go up to that that bigger spade bit to give us a bigger hole so that we could drift it apart up in here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Cameraman saying yes. So these are a little bit oversized, but that's going to give me some room for the blocks to set on. So what we did is these are literally pieces. These two here are pieces that we cut. This was the spare wood that came off from these two front legs, and so this is the rest of our 2x4. So we're not putting anything to waste here. And literally, this is what our 4-inch screws were for. I actually put one 2.5-inch and one 4-inch screw in both of these to put these into place. So literally, the only hardware in this is this bolt that we showed you to start with. And case in point, this one works. You could even go with a little bit longer than the one that I went with. But we've got that in there, and then we've got these 4 screws per board holding these on. And it's pretty solid. It's feeling pretty good. So we're going to see in practicality how this works, and stay tuned. We're going to jump to the next step and get some blocks on this. Alrighty guys, so if you can see back in here, what we did is we took that one other piece that we had gotten off from the long board that we cut and kind of strapped it to this middle piece here. And there's a whole lot of screws in here coming through the back of this to brace these blocks so that they don't fall off forward when you throw at them. So that's what's going on with that. As you can see over here, let's introduce you to this. This is where we used to, I just used the chainsaw there to trim one of these up so it fit in the middle. This is where we used to have all of our blocks, just kind of leaning up against this old partially dead, mostly dead tree. So this is just a much better setup, as you can see. Actually worked out really good, very sturdy. So these blocks are heavy. I don't see these coming off.
You know what? I just kind of started rambling here, so about enough of that. Let's skip to the cut where we just put it to the test and see how it works.
So as you can see, she holds up really good. Holds up, held up. So takes all kinds of shock, does just what we want it to do. It's got weight down, it's got weight up, and all right. That's where we're at with this, and as always, it was great to have you guys join us for the project. Thank you for coming along. Subscribers are coming along great. So if you like this, if it's helpful at all, leave a comment. If you got some suggestions on how to do it better, or you know, I'm sure that there was plenty that I could have done differently. So, you know, maybe you can help out the next person to work on this project. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming along. Please like, please subscribe, share the video if it's useful. So until next time, you guys have a good one. Try to get out into the woods, into the wild, out in the backyard, wherever you got to go to clear your head a little bit. So again, you guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.